It's a crazy little in less than 10 minutes. All you
The movie kicks off and we see this little kid whose parents have passed away. He's been really down in the dumps ever since, so he moves in with his grandmother. His name is Sam, but he's just super sad all the time because he still misses his parents like crazy. His grandmother is this really loving and caring woman who looks after Sam with everything she's got, but Sam still isn't adjusting well. So his grandma tells him, all right, I'm going to get you a pet. You can play with it, make it your best buddy, and share everything that's on your mind with it. And sure enough, within a few days, his grandmother gifts him a mouse. Sam is absolutely thrilled to have that little mouse and spends most of his time hanging out with it. He always tells his grandma, Grandma, mice have it so good, don't they? They just run around and play all day right in their own little home. One day, Sam is playing in his room with his mouse when a witch outside is watching him through the window. This witch had a really creepy, weird look in her eyes. Around the same time, Sam's grandmother starts feeling really sick, but she recovers pretty quickly. She then tells Sam, come on, kiddo, let's go out for a bit. So the two of them head out to a grocery store to do some shopping. Sam wanders off for a little while, and this lady comes up to him, and she's actually the witch, the same one who had been staring at their house that day. She offers Sam some chocolate and says, come here, sweet child. She's trying to get control of him, basically hypnotizing him. She's also got this creepy snake with her. But just then, Sam's grandmother finishes up and calls out for Sam. He spots her and runs right over, and the witch quickly slips away. When they get back home, Sam tells his grandma, Grandma, that woman at the store was talking to me in such a weird way. She was giving me all this yummy chocolate and telling me to listen to her, and she even had a snake with her. His grandmother looks at him seriously and says, Baby, that was a witch. This is exactly why I always tell you never to take anything to eat from strangers, because someone might have put something in it. And more importantly, if she was a witch, why on earth would she be giving you free stuff? She was definitely trying to trap you. Let me tell you a story from when I was a little girl. I was about 10 years old and I had this close friend. We were walking somewhere together when all of a sudden my friend just disappeared from right next to me. When I looked around, there was this strange woman handing her chocolate. She was a witch, actually the head witch. I grabbed my friend and got us both out of there fast. But the very next day, while my mother was doing my ponytail, I watched my friend transform right before my eyes into a chicken right in front of me. That witch had put some kind of spell on her, or maybe it was something in that chocolate she ate. That's why ever since I was a little girl, I've always stayed as far away from witches as possible. His grandmother then tells him, and you better not take anything from them ever again, and stay as far away from them as possible. The moment you see anyone like that, you come tell me right away. Sam's grandmother then says, Baby, we need to get out of here soon because our house is already on these witches' radar, and they always go after poor folks first. Just a little ways down from their house, there was a 5-star hotel where Sam's grandmother had a chef friend, and she also had a really good relationship with the hotel manager, so she talks to the manager and gets herself a small room. The manager turns out to be a genuinely good person. Sam and his grandmother pack up and move into the hotel. They were free to go wherever they wanted, but something really strange starts happening. Witches start pouring into that same hotel because they have some kind of meeting scheduled there, and they want a fancy dinner. All the witches are dressed super fashionably. They walk up to the manager and say, you know who we are, we're going to need a hall for our meeting. Their whole plan is to either kidnap all the kids or hand them chocolates laced with a magical potion that would turn every child into an animal the moment they ate it. Their reasoning, all these kids are so badly behaved, they don't even deserve to be in this world. And we don't have the time to go around picking out the naughty ones, so we're just going to target every single kid. Night falls and Sam is chatting with his grandmother while rain pours outside. Sam asks, Grandma, what do witches actually look like? His grandmother tells him, well, baby, their fingers are really long, and their nails are absolutely disgusting. That's exactly why they wear gloves. Their hair isn't great either, so they wear wigs and big old hats. Sam is getting pretty scared hearing all this, especially with the storm raging outside. Morning comes and Sam is bored out of his mind, so he grabs his pet mouse and wanders into one of the halls to play around. But suddenly, the entire group of witches that came for the meeting shows up. Sam panics and hides. One of the head witches starts picking up a scent but can't spot him anywhere, so she goes ahead and kicks off the meeting. All the witches are seated, and standing before them is their Grand High Witch. She pulls out a potion and says, this is a magical potion. If you drop even one drop of this into any chocolate or candy, that candy will be transformed. It'll turn any child who eats it into an animal. As she's explaining further, she catches Sam's scent again. She starts sniffing around the stage, her nose twitching in this gross and honestly pretty hilarious way. Finally, she lifts up the stage and throws it aside, but there's nobody underneath. However, right behind it is a ventilation window, and that's where she spots Sam. She lunges to grab him, but just then a chubby little kid, a guest child, wanders into the hall. All the witches turn toward him and grab him. Since he's clearly a big fan of food, the witches grin and say, "We can trap this one easily." They hand him the chocolate laced with the potion. He gobbles it right up and instantly turns into a tiny mouse. The witches freak out at the sight of the mouse and are just about to crush it under their heels when Sam crawls out through the ventilation window and snatches the mouse away. But Sam makes a huge mistake doing that. All the witches spot him and grab him. They pour a drop of the potion right into his ear, and Sam turns into a mouse too. Sam the mouse and the chubby kid's mouse bolt out of there immediately. Sam's own pet mouse is right there with them too, and we find out that the pet was actually a little girl who had also been turned into a mouse by a witch who gave her chocolate. The three of them quickly become great friends and vow, "We are definitely going to get back at those witches." Sam rushes straight to his grandmother and tells her everything, that the witches turned them all into mice. His grandmother is furious and says, "They turned my babies into mice? I will get revenge on those witches, I swear." Sam then tells his grandma, "Here's the cool part. The balcony of the room where the witches are staying is visible right from our balcony." His grandmother's eyes light up with an idea. She says, "I'm going to knit a little sock, put you in it, and lower you down. You sneak in, steal that potion, and bring it back up to me, and then I'll figure out how to fix you all." So that's exactly what she does. She tucks Sam into the sock and slowly lowers him down. Sam is terrified, but the witch isn't in the room, so he grabs the potion and makes his way back up. His grandmother is pulling the sock back up when the witch suddenly spots it and grabs on tight. His grandmother calmly says, "Oh, I was just knitting this and it slipped and fell. I'm just pulling it back up." The witch narrows her eyes and says, "Is that so?" and is just about to check inside when the hotel manager walks in, which makes the witch let go of the sock. The potion makes it safely up to Grandma. She pours it onto a plate and dips each mouse into it one by one, but nothing happens. Of course, the potion could only turn humans into animals, not the other way around. Sam sighs and says, "Grandma, we can't be cured, can we? So why don't we just pour this potion into the witch's soup, the one they're having for dinner tonight? And you can get close enough to do it, right?" His grandmother beams and says, "Oh my goodness, kids, what an idea." She tucks all three mice in the potion into her bag and makes her way to where the witch's soup is being prepared. She slips the potion right in. But as she's doing it, the hotel manager catches her and says, "Are those mice yours? You can't bring mice into the kitchen. That's completely unacceptable." His grandmother plays it cool and says, "Those aren't my mice. Go ahead and check everything." She had already hidden the mice in a corner of her bag, and when the manager searches the room and her things, he can't find them anywhere. He's totally embarrassed. So Grandma goes on the offense. "I am going to sue you. How dare you search my room without permission? The police are going to shut this hotel down." The manager gets scared and says, "I am so sorry, ma'am. I made a mistake. Please, dinner is on me tonight. I sincerely apologize." And just like that, Grandma pulls off her plan perfectly and even scores a free dinner out of it. Right on cue, it's dinner time for the witches. That soup had been made exclusively for them, which makes what's about to happen even more satisfying. The moment the witches drink the soup, they all start transforming one by one into mice, right before everyone's eyes. Grandma is absolutely overjoyed watching this, and honestly, it's pretty hilarious to watch. All the hotel workers and Grandma herself start going after the mice, but there's one problem. The Grand High Witch hadn't tasted the soup yet, so she doesn't transform. The three little mice put together a clever little trap and get it onto her finger, making her scream in pain. They quickly shove the potion into her mouth, and she turns into a mouse too, though a slightly bigger one than the rest. They trap her inside a glass cup, and Grandma places a cat right in front of it. Who knows, maybe the cat will take care of her. Grandma is beyond happy. She scoops all three mice into her bag and walks right out of that hotel because they have absolutely nothing to fear from witches anymore. They can even go back to their own home now. Outside, we see the chubby kid's parents are frantically looking for their son, but his mom had never really loved him to begin with. When she hears her son squeaking away in his little mouse voice, she freaks out and says, "You keep him. I'm not dealing with this." And the little mouse just shrugs and says, "Fine by me, at least I've got my friends now. And honestly, good riddance." Grandma brings all three mice home, feeds them well, and takes loving care of them. The three little mice are happier than ever with their lives, with each other, with their new friendship. And the funny thing, none of them even want to be human again. They play, they explore, they have a blast, and Grandma watches them with the biggest smile on her face. And just like that, the movie wraps up with a perfectly happy ending.